Good morning, afternoon, and evening. My name is Parker. I am with IndySoft support, and today I was going to show you the statistics module and how to get it pulled up and accessible in your version 13 environment. So first off, what we're going to do, introduction of what the statistics module is a very powerful feature in IndySoft. It lets us basically track key performance indicators within the system in regards to events, whether that's turnaround time between one type of event to another, or if you want certain statistics involving one specific type of event. This is different from having to export data from your history tab in equipment view and having to compare these values in Excel, right? So IndySoft can do that for you and automatically. So what we're going to do first is I need to show you how to actually access it and an easy way to access it in version 13. First off, what we'll do is we'll go to our admin panel at the very top. We'll right click on customization. And then I'm going to find statistics, which is right. There we go. Sorry about that. So here's our statistics module. And what I want to do is click and drag that onto my admin view, my admin panel here. So now we have the button, the image of statistics module here, and we can click on that to launch statistics module. If you guys don't want that on the admin panel, what you can do is add it on the far left hand side. Let me move myself over. You can right click on this side panel, click on new item, and then what we're going to do here is type in statistics. And I'm actually going to copy that too. And we're going to go to the right hand side and go to the other tab here. Type in statistics at the very top, find next, click it about twice so you can go back to the top and scroll back down and search. And then you double click. With this selected already and highlighted, double click on IndySoft statistics. What that'll do is create a hyperlink or a URL tag that goes around our text that we want to show on the screen. I'm going to click OK, and what that's going to do is it's going to create the statistics module link, which you can see I have 3 already, but it's going to show here. Another place you can do this is number 3. This is the third place you can add this. You can even add it on the equipment view tab. Wherever you want to add it, this is the system, and this is the way and method you would do it. Another option, I went ahead and clicked and dragged my field here. This is my user created for field. But basically what I did is I just dragged one of those items onto my home tab here. I'm just going to release it. So I have user created 11 here, but I'm going to use 11 for now since that's the one I dragged for you guys. I'm going to right click on that, edit user created 11, and then I'm going to do the same thing. Statistics, that's what it says, right? Highlight it, go to other, paste it, and then find next, and I'm going to double click. It puts that URL tag on the outside of it, and I'm going to hit OK. Now we can click on the statistics link that we just made here, or on the admin panel to open it up. Next, how do we use it? We need to go to workflow config if it's involving our event, because that's what it's tracking, right? So we have to enable it. So I'm going to open this up and I'm going to go to workflow config. And then I'm going to let that load. And now that we are ready and we have our event pulled up, I'm going to do this in my calibration event. If you want to do this in a different event, that's completely fine. But we're going to go to the far left-hand side on rule or step 21. Sorry about that. It's 21 statistics. I've already created one, but what you'll do to create a new one is you click on that plus button. And what I'm doing right now is creating one under calibration time. Let's just show you how I did it. So I'm just going to add a calibration time. Starting event type is calibration, and then single event type, I'm going to do total event time. Total event time is how long the event took to start and how long it went to finish. Basically, the active time you've been in that event. Start finish difference will take the date and time the event started, and then we'll subtract that from when the event finished, more along the lines of what we'll use for one event to a different ending type event. So let's just say check in and check out, which will have most likely receiving and calibration or whatever events included, like a sandwich. So that's what that would most likely be used for. And then master uses will basically give you one statistic for each master used, and we'll include that data in there. So that's what I chose there. Minimum stat time is 5 minutes. Most of the time I'll put 1 minute here. We want to exclude outliers is what this is basically doing. We're most likely not going to have a calibration event that lasted 1 minute, maybe not two or three. Who knows? But whatever you guys consider your outliers, your anomalies, you want to exclude those items here. Same as this. There's no way a calibration event will take 60 days. So you can exclude that. And then I went ahead and hit OK. I'm going to hit cancel because I already have one here. And now what you can do is actually, let's just say once we created the statistic event or the statistic step here, this rule or the type, we want to make sure, the future events are going to include this in the statistics module. What about the past events? Well, there's a button that'll actually backtrack through all those past events and will calculate that information for you. And I've already did that, and I can show you what that will be in a minute. All right, so we just finished doing our calibration finished creating our calibration stat type and saving it. So we're going to pull up statistics now. Once that launches, we're going to give that a second using one of our many links that we created, which will all do the same thing. What we're going to do is pull up our calibration time. And I want to do this for my test company. As you can add a filter here or not, and you can pull up all calibration event types from that drop-down menu if you want. But me putting this filter here is only going to show me items from that specific company. Or however you'd use these items, you can pull up certain calibrations for specific IDs or even for different equipment filters. So the limitations are very slim, to be honest with you. So anyways, I'm going to search here and I have 6 records that will pull down into my grid for the statistics. I'm going to select them and it's going to pull items based on group by company and group by template type. What decides that? Well, it's your options tab here. And what I'm going to do is actually make those blank. It might be smart to do it by company if you're doing several companies, but what I've done is just pulled it from that way. In the options tab, you also have the ability to tell it how many you want to show per page. I have it set for 5 right now. You can have the time change to weeks. You can have it change to months, minutes, days, and years. This type is set to max right now. I want to figure out my average time that it took for calibrations, or I want to figure out the count of calibrations that I did, 6 total, right? So you have many options to choose from here, many options on how to group. You can exclude certain items that are empty. You have 4 grouping options here. You can sort these items, whether they're ascending or descending order. So this shows all of my information here. And another thing you can show are charts. So you can show if you have several different companies, let's just say for example, company is exactly this company. Let's select those options here. I'm just going to select these for now, but you can select different companies here. And also you can change your column diagram here. I think I do all of my calibration events in my Parker company test too. So anyways, that will show all those calibration events for that one type of event. Well, now let's try to do this for a starting at one event and finishing at a different event. So between 2 events, that turnaround time there. So what we're going to do here is I'm going to minimize statistics module, go back to workflow config, and what you'll do once workflow config pops up, for my purposes, I want my ending event type to be calibrations, but I want my start event type where I want this turnaround time recorded and put into statistics module. I want to actually make a statistic type that starts at the receiving event. So once I receive this piece of equipment or check it in, you can even do check in, for example. I want to see how long it takes the second it was received or checked in, whatever event you choose, and how long it takes for it until the calibration is ended, right? That's one of those measurements, those performance indicators I want to keep track of. How I created that was I clicked on that plus button again. The statistic type, I chose turnaround time. You can also do one, you can rename one called test or whatever you want to do. Starting event type, I chose receiving, for example. Notice single event stat type grays out. You can no longer select it because it's not a single event type. It notices that it does not equal calibration, so it needs to go off of a multi-event stat type. Same anomaly Outliers here I want to exclude. There's no way I can calibrate what I'm calibrating within 5 minutes, so I'm not going to include it. Max stat time is 60 days. I will not calibrate something for 60 days. And I hit OK. And what that did is it created my turnaround time receiving event. I've already backtracked and processed the historical data for all the equipment. So now what I'm going to do is open up statistics module again, which I already had it pulled up. Now I want to search for turnaround time. And if I can search for that, then I have two records that I have. I'm going to select those. And now the total time that it takes for items to go from my receiving event to finish at a calibration event, I can see that the total time it takes is 218 hours for my test template here. So again, if I want to group by certain things, by company, for example, and I want to do average time hours wise that it takes for items to come through calibration or through my receiving event and end on the finish event of calibration will be 218 hours. 218 hours. If we want to filter this to not include anything and select, there we go. Total time hours it takes to go from that event, the receiving event when it started, to the end of calibration time. Again, you will deal with these same options and settings that you want to show for this. Other than that, that's what we got for our Tip Tuesday on statistics module. Thank you for joining us. Let me know if you have any questions. Have a good day.